and welcome to another episode of the Hip Hop Podcast. I'm Gannon here with my co-host Pete Nicholson. We are back again, episode 5, I believe, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. You know, I counted. By the way, hello Pete. How are you?
I'm great, Gannon. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Keep going. You're counting.
Yeah, I don't know if I said this on one of the episodes, but when I originally found the old website for the podcast, I counted how many episodes we did, and it was 30 episodes, which
That's prodigious.
yeah.
That's productive. I mean, 30 episodes. That's a lot. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and we had a season 1, and then and then the year ended, and then we did season 2, and then got busy and things changed, and then we didn't really have time for it. But again, here we are now. So,
well, I have a compliment for you. My wife, Anna, whom you know,
who also was my teacher too.
I know she was. Well, I said a nice thing, and she's like, "Oh, well, you should tell him that." And what it is because of you doing those podcasts then and now, you've definitely given me a lot of knowledge that I think has made me a better teacher for a class now, history of hip hop. So I think thanks to you and the last 5 episodes, I feel like I know more about rappers from the last 5 years that are still putting out albums that carry weight. And it's good for me to know about that. So I'm grateful to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we're doing it, so that people can, discover new things and think about things and all that. So that's kind of my goal with the hip hop podcast. I also just want to talk about music, because I like doing it. And I actually did it last night with 2 of my friends. We were playing a game together, and I was on Instagram, and Spotify did this, it was like a poll about ranking all of Kendrick's albums, and I read it off to them. And then we had this huge debate, not a debate, we were having a discussion of our own opinions, and everyone had a different opinion about what album was better. Not better, but which one should be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we all had different answers, and it was really interesting. And I literally was like, well, hey, welcome to the Hip Hop Podcast, because that's what we do. This is,
Well, it's fun to have those conversations. You also have to figure out what the criteria is. So how do you judge? So you have to figure it. But those are really fun conversations. People love to have that sports type thing. Who's the best quarterback? All those, there's really something I think we could bring more to this conversation. I like to do it in class. We did best rapper of the 80s.
Interesting.
And it had to be an artist of the 80s, the bulk of their work. And there was a criteria.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids, students don't always vote correctly. But with my influence pushing it, Rakim won as best rapper of the 80s. So yeah, but it was fun to kind of hash out how to score it. We scored them. We had 10 finalists.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious now who they were, or at least the top.
You can guess who some of them were. LL Cool J was on the list.
Yeah.
Just because it's 80s. Daryl Mack, DJ DMC from Run DMC was on the list. Big Daddy Kane was on the list.
Yep.
That kind of thing.
Well, there you go.
Maybe MC Light was on the list.
MC Light, yeah, I know him. Maybe we should do something like that.
Her.
Who?
MC Light's a woman.
Oh, so I guess I don't. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
No problem. We should get to it though. Come on.
Anyway, yes. So episode 5. Today we're talking about Sylvan LaCue.
Sylvan LaCue.
Sylvan LaCue. His name spelled pretty interesting. Because I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, and I was able to figure it out. Sylvan and then LAQ. And he was an artist that I discovered a couple years ago. I think I was just listening to a mix of music, and it just rap music, a rap radio station, whatever. And it just popped on on Spotify. And it was a song called Best Me, which is one of the songs we're going to be talking about today. And I listened to it, and I was blown away because I had never heard of this guy. And I'm surprised because he has, I'm going to say it, a plethora of content. Um, he started rapping in 2019. Originally, his name was Quest, and then he ended up changing it, and I couldn't find out why. I'm sure it's somewhere. It was capital Q, lowercase u, capital ES, and then a lowercase t, which is interesting, and I wonder why it was that formatting of the name. And so he started rapping in 2009. Uh, started living independently because he was having issues with his mother in 2011. And
where is he from? What part of the country?
Yeah, he's from Miami.
Okay, I was wondering.
And he started living independently and started working full time as a janitor while also making music, which is pretty interesting, I think. I mean, obviously you got to do what you got to do. And then in 2019, he moved to San Diego and wanted to take, yes.
Janitor is at least a job where you could be in your head thinking of lyrics and music while you're working.
Exactly. I think that's a perfect point to bring up. And I'm
to picture it.
Exactly, me too. Like you just listening to music and like getting inspiration. He was also very inspired by Drake, which I find interesting. He was also obviously inspired by a bunch of older artists, but that's kind of how he got his name Quest. And originally was from Drake because he had like a. I actually have I have a quote from him that I'll get to in a second. But here, you want to find something interesting, Pete. So he moved to San Diego in 2013, and he ends up going on tour with Logic, our boy Logic. And yeah, and that same year, he was in talks with the president of the company, or the president of the music group called Visionary Music Group, which is Logic's label, and he gets signed to it. So that was pretty cool. I believe he's still with them today. Since 2008, he has dropped 12 mixtapes up to 2020, and then in 2016 he dropped Apologies. Oh, I'm sorry. He dropped his debut studio album in 2016, and then in 2018 he dropped Apologies in Advance, which is where the two songs that we're going to be talking about today are coming from. I did find this interesting article from Rehab Magazine. I'm just going to quote it real quick. It says the author notes Sylven Sylvan's ability of storytelling, calling his lyrics unapologetic and true to his narrative. And article also states that how he matured as an artist after suffering from a Drake effect, hoping he can make a sudden success in music because he just got so inspired by Drake, I suppose. And this is a quote from him specifically. He says, I had gotten any monetary success early on. I would have known what to do with it, and I would have sabotaged myself as an artist. I'm grateful that God really allowed me to fail the amount of times I failed so that I could learn. So very humble guy, very like the article said, just like he's gonna say it how it is. And I think this is a perfect example. He's also super not well known at all. Like he is underground, which I appreciate a lot. And we both love underground artists. That's what we used to talk about all the time, even before we did the podcast. We'd share old 90s underground artists and even early 2000s like Atmosphere and all them, Brother Ali. And I think this kind of goes towards the point that I said a couple episodes ago about rap music nowadays being a certain stigma or stereotype. But I think Sylvan kind of breaks that. Again, with same thing with Joey, pretty much same thing with everyone we've talked about, which is kind of the theme that I'm trying to roll with right now. Is artists who kind of are keeping it real, air quote, and just doing the music that they are inspired to do and not forced to be any kind of certain way of being on the radio. You know what I mean?
No, it's a perfect theme. You also want to highlight people that have a message, that are more thoughtful, poetic, reflective, meaningful in lyrics that can also sound dope, and that there will always, I guess, shining that spotlight there helps to think there could be more of that, and that is something that is worth focusing on because it's positive.
Yeah,
It's great, which is a good idea.
So the album what we're going to be focusing on today with Sylvan is two songs, one called Best Me and the other one called Guilt Trip. And the one thing I want to point out about this album that is really interesting is that it takes place in an IA Center group discussion. There's little skits in between the songs, and it's people in a group talking about how to be the best them. And it's so you get a song, or you get like a skit, and then you get a song, and then you get a skit, song, skit, song, 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 skit. Kind of about.
Yeah, is he a recovering addict?
Not that I'm aware of, but
you said he was quoted in something like Rehab magazine.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, you can take a second to try and look while we.
Well, just wondering, and then you said this is like a certain kind of meeting. You said IA meeting.
Well, here actually, I saved. I have two clips here that I'm going to play just to kind of give an example of what I'm talking about. So let me throw those up real quick, and we can just kind of listen to both of those real quick.
Well, hello there, guys. Welcome to the AIA Center, where we are going to be going through the 12-step process of growth and acceptance. I'm thinking we'll start with one specific place, talking about the best you. So here's the question. What are you doing to become the best you? The floor is open.
Then it goes into this.
Honestly and truthfully, like, what aren't I doing to improve myself consistently all the time? I feel like everything that, personally for myself, I feel like everything that I engage myself in is a form of transformation. It's to get better, it's to do better, it's to rise up, it's to be seen, it's to be recognized, it's to go deeper in myself.
So you kind of get the picture there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing evidence of drug addiction recovery.
Yeah, I didn't either. So
his life sounds like, he's been through hardships. He had some family tragedies and stuff. It seems like he and his father were evicted from where they were living at a certain point. So but no, it doesn't seem to be about addiction.
No, but like when I actually listened to the album, and I'm it's one of those things where like skits can kind of interrupt the flow of things, but in this particular case, I don't think it interrupts anything. If anything, I think it adds more to the story and the concept, and it's a theme, and I like it. I think it's definitely worth a listen. I mean, let me look at the album. There's 20 songs. Well, 20 songs, and that includes all of the clips too. So it looks like it's about half each. So 10 clips, 10 songs, and they're not very long. They're like minute long things, but it's just, each person kind of, like you said, the 12 steps of acceptance and all that. So it's very interesting to actually like listen to the whole album through and through. And he's got some bangers. Like he has stuff to say. Like he can be like in Best Me, he can be really honest. And then he's also got stuff kind of like Guilt Trip that we're going to be listening to, which is a little bit different flow. He does a lot of like name calling, not in like a bad way, but he makes references and stuff. So I might try and
tell you, I liked one of these songs much more than the other. I won't tell you which yet.
Okay. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what you would think. So anyway, let's get on to it. We're going to play Best Me. Let me share the screen so we can see the lyrics.
This has one of my favorite rhymes of all time in it. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
Okie dokie. That's interesting. Kind of like
very small detail in the song, but it's a really, really great rhyme, and I loved it.
Okay. I like it.
I'm just saying, I'll hold that back for now, but.
All right. Maybe, let's see. Maybe I play it. Who knows? Here we go. Let me turn that back up. All right. So this is Best Me by Sylvan LaCue. This is the second verse, I believe. And here we go.
Nah, nigga, I ain't never had a motherfucking handout. A bunch of mistakes in my past, trying to stick to a plan route. But that's life, my nigga. Sometimes shit just don't pan out. No, lately I've been trying to bite my tongue. Dog, I've been in a fight so long for myself. Man on the wall, why is it always a knack to attack myself? I can use a little slack for the wealth, but I'm too afraid to ask for the help. Still attached to the past and this felt like way too strong. I don't ever want to wait too long, but I know if I hold on, know you wrong, gon' get your dough, baby. Hold on, know you wrong, just don't lose your soul, baby. Hold on, don't you know love won't ever fall, baby. Killing myself and I can use some soul, baby. All I wanna do is be the best me.
So there we go. Best me. What was your what do you think about that?
Oh, it comes a little late. Oh, the lyric I'm looking at comes a little later. It's growing on me. Yeah. I feel like this is reminds me a little bit of Kid Cudi or something like that. I don't know. It feels
That's
like
funny because he makes a Kid Cudi reference in this song.
Oh, really? What is it? It's also definitely like somebody's therapy a little bit, you know, like I feel that for sure. It's personal and everything. Wait, tell me about your take on this, why you love this song when you heard it and why you like it now.
You know, I think the beginning of the song is very interesting. He kind of like he's like rapping but almost talking at the same time with a beat behind him. It's like both of them are kind of in sync with, like, it's working together in sync with each other, the rapping and the talking. And then he's like, all I want to do, what does he say? I can't remember. You know what you need when you're dead broke. You know what you want when you see the dream. All I want to do is be the best me. When he said this part here,
you know what you need when you're dead broke. You know what you want when you see the dream. All I want to do is be the best.
And then the chorus came in. It was shut it down. I was like, yes, this is it for me. Like, I love this. Like, I don't know, and also just that concept is all I want to do is be the best me. Like, who doesn't want to be the best vet, you know? And there's one line in here, and I thought it was in the section that I played. Maybe I didn't, but he says, looking in the mirror and I see my enemy or something like that. So he's talking about how him himself, is that right? I don't know, is his own enemy, I guess is the point that I'm trying to make here.
Yeah, no, I see that. And this trying to be the best me, it's like the theme of the album, you know, right? Like you mentioned. And he mentions having a baby. I guess he's got a daughter or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, like, he remembers romance when he was young. He talks about being a kid back in the day and having like a girlfriend that he got Valentine's cards for, and then fast forwards to like very negative view of like women and sex, where he talks about spite, you know. And then it confused me a little bit because I'm like, oh, okay, sounds like he's in a relationship and has a baby, but he sounds like not perfectly happy. Thinking back to better days, trying to be better for his daughter, I guess, which is a common theme of guys who, like, you know, when you get to your 20s.
Yeah.
But the lyric that I love is on the screen here, Gannon. It's the Robert Frost theory.
I knew it.
Robert Frost theory, N-word never had Siri.
Yep.
6 words, what? 7 words? In 7 words, it says, so much, the Robert Frost theory, 2 woods, the Virgin and wood, in the yellow wood, 2, you know, roads. I chose the one less traveled by. That's the poem. But he couldn't go to Siri and say, which road do I take? Robert Frost theory, you know, it's about having to choose at a crossroads. And he certainly couldn't ask Siri. It's just a great rhyme in like 7 words in 1 bar. It's great.
Here, let me just play that real quick, just so you can hear it.
And to keep me motivated in a city full of traders, drug dealers, blood killer, keep it old fashioned. 2 choices. I'ma be my own captain. Yeah, Robert Frost theory, nigga never had Siri. Thank God for the vision I was brought back then. No new phone, I'm just done with all the apps, my friend. You ain't.
Yeah, no, when I was looking at the lyrics for this song, I actually had noticed that because I had never noticed it before when I would listen to it, and I saw that and I'm like, oh, Pete's gonna be all over that because you're an English
Oh,
teacher.
I love that. So that kind of won me over. The song's like flow, the sound of the song didn't get to me right away. And Anna was in the other room, and the beat, like if you only hear the beat and you're in the other room, she didn't totally feel it. It sounded better to me, very soulful the second time hearing it. I feel like this is the type of moody type tune that might need to work on you a little bit.
That's
But
interesting.
that's a great bar. That rhyme, is really, really
because like I was sold on this song. It's
immediate.
different. It's interesting. It's different. So I know what you mean.
It's different.
And I think his whole concept as an artist is different. Like his flows are very interesting. And production, I think he does a lot of his own productions too. And
But I will say the second song I liked a lot more.
Did you? That's
in my first take, like how things, you can't, sometimes you have to process things more fully, but no, I preferred Guilt Trip.
Okay. All right. Well, then here, let's move on to Guilt Trip. I believe I'm playing the second verse again because there's one part in particular that I really like that I kind of want to call out. And I guess I'll just go and do it in here. Let me share the screen again. Oop. And great. Here we go. So this is Guilt Trip, same album by Sylvan LaCue.
I know it's wrong. If I could be anything in this world, it'd be free. I feel it like Duckworth. I know it must hurt. Whenever my pride clings, all of my lives in. Tell the opera, all the imposters. I don't know the meaning of living inside the moment. Before I say gratitude often, I condone it. I am only human, God knows my components. Eyes in the mirror, look at my opponent. Kill 100 rappers, I send my condolences. This is a figment of my imagination. I don't know if I deserve the admiration. These days, no, you gotta bring out the patience. I remember when I was desperate, had to make it. Bleed acceptance, feed my restless need to impeach my precious sense of self. The feeling of needing more to be more. Devil and God on a seesaw. I know it's wrong.
Devil and God on a seesaw. Like, how do you not?
Gannon, look at the bleed to set this feed my restless need to impeach my precious sense of self. Well, that's
this one right here.
That's jam-packed. The feeling of need to be more, devil and God on a seesaw. It's like very long line, very, very long line, two short ones, right into the chorus with that. I highlighted this stuff too because I thought it was builds really great, and those lines are really interesting lyrics.
And the one part that stuck out to me in particular was he makes a Kendrick Lamar reference in this verse.
Oh, Duckworth?
Yes, because that's Kendrick's last name, Kendrick Lamar Duckworth.
I saw Duckworth and I didn't get it right away, so I went and looked it up, and it's a Kendrick song also.
Yeah.
Which I looked at the lyrics and I'm feeling like Duckworth. Does that mean I'm feeling like Kendrick?
I think so. That's how I interpreted it, and I like it. I mean, also he just kind of goes off in this verse. Whenever my pride clings, all of my lies sink. Validity opera, all the imposters. And then he also goes on and says, which I wanted to point at this too, because I always think it's really interesting, because I know a lot of rappers do this. Kill 100 rappers, I send my condolences. That's like one of the biggest things in hip hop is that, I'm going to kill every other rapper. It's like kind of like that rap battle mentality kind of a thing. And
well, he's not talking about street violence in his
exactly.
He's talking about rapping. Like
lyrically, I'm gonna murder you.
And how about, this is a figment of my imagination. I don't know if I deserve the admiration. The song's called Guilt Trip.
Yeah.
So I don't feel worthy. Like I don't deserve it. I'm not good enough. This restless need to impeach my precious sense of self. Like I'm so full of myself. Look at me. Kind of, I hate that about myself kind of feeling. The feeling of a need to be, more to be more, devil and God on the seesaw. Like I don't like that about myself, that I'm so needy or something. It's great. It's great. The lyrics are awesome in this song.
It really is. He also has another song on this album. Let me just double check to make sure I'm not crazy. Yeah, he's got a song called Selfish. So you got Selfish, Guilt Trip, Best Me. Let's just take a look at
Empathy. Yeah.
Grateful. Poem.
Ain't
Perfect,
no perfect.
Perfect Imperfections.
Mm.
Love and Sacrifice. 555.
So this is like a little therapy session. You know, you think about feeling bad, you find ways to feel good. I think you're right. This is a total theme album. You got to listen to the whole thing.
You really, like, we're not giving it justice. You can't just pick a song and play it. We're only doing that because we're talking about it to get, interest out.
One more thing I want to mention. There's a rhyme in this song that I thought was just a really dope rhyme.
Yeah.
He's talking about his new girlfriend, how
Mm-hmm.
she works hard. And the rhyme goes, she won't ever take a week off. Make love, then it's lemon pepper chicken with the sweet sauce. So when you rhyme week off with sweet sauce, it actually sounds perfect. Like it sounds like a perfect rhyme. It's not, but it sounds like it. Week off and sweet sauce. It's dope. And he says make love, which is an interesting choice because it's not usually what people say.
A rapper will say, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that was cute, like kind of sweet. But the she'll never take a week off, make love, then it's lemon pepper chicken with the sweet sauce. Thought that was a great rhyme.
I also do just for clarity's sake, I just want to play the intro of this song. Just because it's like so good in my opinion. Like, and the music, it fits with the music video too. Because like he's just kind of like standing there, just like kind of doing a dance. I don't know if you actually watched the music video for it.
I did.
Yeah. So here, I'm just gonna play this real quick. So I love the way it starts.
Like a white shirt.
Yeah.
Relative when the stars align. Feel like my heart will fall on the line. Money and murder all on my mind. I pull up eradicate on the nine. When I die, I went on my words in the shrine. Bury me 20 feet on the pyramids. I don't know where my fear is. Only fill it with God. Elevate on my spirit. All held to the vine.
Like
that's when he switches it up.
It's such a that's yeah. It's such a strong intro. There is also a beat switch in this song. Later on after like the 2:30 mark, something like that. But I also just, because I was looking at the lyrics when I was playing that, he says, bury me 20 feet under pyramids. I don't know what my fear is. And if you know anything about pyramids, they go pretty deep. So bury me 20 feet deeper than that, which I think is dope. I think that's cool. Like he's so clever. And it's one of those things that like, you just have to like, listen to it and analyze it. Like you can listen to it for the beat, you can do whatever you want, but like he has content and context to what he's saying. He's got a reason for doing it. He's trying to convey feelings, like that quote said from that article. Very blunt, very honest rapper, and I don't know, he's fucking dope. So
I'm gaining appreciation after hearing you explain and talk about it more. It's definitely the kind of content you can just keep going back to listen to the words up. And that's a quality I think that you always try to highlight. You want to hear the words and then you want to hear them again, and then you start thinking about it. And when you put a whole album together that's built around concept like that, well, you got to have creative vision and talent beyond just making something that sounds half decent, but really being smart. I think it's another thing you usually go for.
Exactly. He also sings a little bit too. He like sing raps, which is maybe where that Drake influence comes from. There was one song that I was gonna play that I was gonna use for the podcast, but I didn't think like it would work super well with what we're trying to, not that it wouldn't work, but like, I'm trying to show off the rapping, not necessarily is.
I heard a little bit of that when he shifted gears in one of these songs. It has like a little bit of a singing quality.
I wonder if I can. This song is grateful.
I could put my feelings aside. I do not know why I cling to my pride. Blessings adding up, I should feel amazing. Funny how you learn to fall from grace as soon as you touch the sky. I can have it all as long as I try.
You know, one thing that I also noticed about him too is that like he doesn't necessarily really go with the beat a lot, like, which I think is kind of cool. And it might take a sec because I was kind of noticing it just there with that song where like the beat was kind of doing its own thing and he was kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It'd be really hard to rap like him.
Yeah, which is why
one of these songs, they're like not easy to sing along to. There'll be parts that are.
Yes, but it's very offbeat, and I don't mean that.
What year is this album?
Year?
Yeah, what year?
2018. Let me double check.
2018.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
2018.
Okay, and this is your? Would you say this is your favorite album?
Yeah, he dropped an EP. I think 3 EPs, but only. Oh yeah, they're all on. Oh shoot, I didn't even see that. Yeah, no, he's got 3 EPs that he dropped in 2011. Sorry, 2021. Called the Young Sylvan episode 1, 2, and 3, and each of them have 5 to 6 songs. Which is,
so they like make one album kind of if you put them up.
Yeah, kind of.
They came out in the same year.
Yeah. Grandmaster Vic. Why does that sound familiar?
Because you're thinking of Mr. Vic from
yeah,
from England.
Yeah, who we will have on the show eventually.
I hope so.
So yeah. Anyway,
but you didn't listen to that stuff as the 2021 stuff as much as you listened to.
No, I didn't even know that these had come out. Like I knew he dropped the first one, but I didn't know that the other 2 came out. And I'm kind of curious, real quick. I'm sorry, I just want to.
Let's hear a little sample right now, little live Gannon reaction.
Okay, let's do the
because that gives you some homework. You need to go dig a little deeper into this.
Yeah, here, take a look at the track list and tell me if you see something that looks interesting to you.
Let's see. How about the 3-minute song, D Wade?
D Wade, okay. There's no lyrics.
Just tell me a little sooner. Yeah. God with me when I need grace. Workaholic when I need space. I ain't got sleep in like 3 days. Nah, yeah. Mama say this ain't a relay. You better live for like each day. This life don't come with no replays. Nah, yeah. I shoot my shot like I'm D-Way. Got me ballin' on a weekday. I feel like I'm on the sweepstakes. Yeah. I take a puff and get cross out. Couple niggas at all times. Look up above, God, why? Yeah. Send them pieces with the posh vibe. Should be told I know you hard lies. Don't come around, you be my guy. Nah.
I like that.
Yeah, that sounds like up your alley, right?
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely different than the other 2. It's more, it's got a different style to it. I wonder if each of these have different styles to them. I've listened to this one a little bit and I liked it, and but these other 2 I'm gonna have to go back and look at. So
well, that's good news because this is somebody you like and admire, and now you can go a little bit more into them. We got the good 2018 material that that we were listening to today, and got some more stuff from last year.
Most definitely. That's really cool. Good to know. Because I literally didn't even know that those came out.
Sylvan, right? Sylvan LaCue?
Yep. Sylvan LaCue. I mean, it's in the title. I don't have to spell it. SYLVANLACUE. Miami rapper. Signed with Logic and all his pals. Also my boy John Bellion, who I want to talk about. I don't know if I ever showed you John Bellion back in the day. He does literally produces all of his own stuff. And he's done more rapping recently. So you might actually, you know what? We might do it. We might do a John Bellion episode and talk about his rapping because he's got some really interesting verses.
Do you know Paul Barman?
No.
Interesting as well. All right, we'll have to. I'll look into that a little more too.
Okay.
So
Great.
might be something else to
So, Pete, I'm sorry. What are your opinions about Sylvan?
Oh, talented, really interesting, respect. Love the personal. The rhymes are they're really interesting. You know, I like them more the more I realize the whole album and the way it all is going to fit together. But genuine, you say honest for sure. Like nothing fake here. This is just personal writing and like poetry and stuff. So the sound of it is not like the kind of rap music that I instantly love when I hear it. You know me, I'm just a little biased to like old school sounding stuff.
Yeah.
And so it has to grow on me a little more. I think that's the reason. But no, complete respect. This is somebody who's got a real, you know, voice, got something to say, and is not coming from anywhere but his own point of view and experience. So it's pretty great.
I agree with everything you just said. So I'm glad you liked him. You know, he's like I said, he's underground. He's not well known at all. You could probably go up to 100 people and you tell them his name, and they'll be like, "Who?" And so hopefully, maybe this gains a little bit of exposure for him if you liked him. If you didn't, then well, everyone, whatever floats your goat, you know. It's a little.
Hey, by the way, before we totally wrap up, I think we're going to the Logic concert like tomorrow or something. So be ready. I think it's August 17th in Saratoga.
Oh, so, yes.
Yep, I'll just be picking you up. So
okay, sounds great.
I won't give you any notice.
Amazing. I love it. Alrighty, folks. Well, this has been another episode of the Hip Hop Podcast. I have been Gannon Tunison, and he has been Pete Nicholson. And we will see you next time. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good one.